G'day. Can social media actually make you a better person? Social media gets a pretty bad rap for being a negative thing, a negative influence. And, that's fair enough to a certain extent. But I genuinely believe that by posting all of this content that I post on social media, it's actually made me a better person. Because when I set out on this little content journey a few years ago of regularly and daily posting content, a lot of that was about my industry, spas, hotels, wellness, that general field. And, I've got a reasonably high profile within that industry. And so I'm always conscious of how what I'm posting will be perceived, received, and interpreted. And that's not necessarily to say that I'm self-censoring, although I think there's certainly an element of that. But what it does make me do is not rethink, but just think a bit more deeply about stuff before I put it out there. Because anyone that knows me and has known me for a while knows that I'm generally fairly well opinionated. I generally shoot from the hip, and I'm generally happy to share my opinion with anybody who wants to listen, and even those that don't. And that's not always a good thing. I mean, it sometimes creates a few problems for other people who have done nothing wrong. But by posting on social media and being aware of, I guess, the reach and the profile and how things might be perceived, it's made me think more about what impact that's going to have on other people or the areas or the subjects that I'm talking about. And as a result of that, you become more empathetic, you become more considerate and aware of other people's circumstance. So simply by posting the sort of content that I post on social media, I've actually become, in my humble opinion, a much more considered, thoughtful person than probably what I otherwise would have been. Now, I will accept that, as a number of people have told me in the past, that I could probably do a little bit more thinking and considering before I post stuff. But you imagine how bad I would be if I didn't do that, because I do actually consider stuff before I put it out there. And again, it's not really self-censoring, although it is to a degree, but it's just about, I guess, being aware of stuff. And I think, what is the obligation to do that? I'm not sure. I'm kind of on the fence about that. I've had some discussions recently with someone who felt that I have a real obligation to do that because I am seen as a person of influence in this little industry. But regardless, I do think that there is a personal obligation to consider what you're saying, to consider what you're posting, and to consider the impact that it's going to have on other people. So, in short, I actually believe social media can make you a better person, and I do believe it's made me a better person. Alrighty, let me know what you think in the comments below. I do thank you for your time, and I will be back again tomorrow. See ya.